Second motion.
Roll call, Mullen,
Aye.
Lawson. Aye. Cornell. Aye. Tapia,
Aye.
Permis and I. Approval of minutes for July 29, 2021. Do I have a first motion?
Third motion.
Do I have a second motion? Second motion. Roll call, Mullen,
Aye.
Lawson. Aye. Cornell. No. Tapia,
Aye.
Permis and I. Welcome of the guests. Laura?
Can you go and take care? All right, good evening and welcome tonight. We have a special celebration tonight and we're going to celebrate some 8th grade students before we move into the meeting tonight. And so if you look over here on our new college wall, we are here to celebrate some 8th grade students that have worked very hard this summer. And I'm going to have Mrs. Burkhead come up and help me present our students their diplomas, and I see that their families are here. So we're going to present the students their diplomas and take a few minutes to give everyone an opportunity to have some treats and take some pictures and celebrate the students like they deserve because they worked really hard this summer and I'm glad they persevered. And so welcome tonight. I just wanted to say too, we all know this has been a difficult time trying to do distance learning through a pandemic. And these students had an extra opportunity through summer school and other opportunities to show that they could reach the grade credits that they needed in order to receive their 8th grade diploma. And so I just want to congratulate you all and let you know how much of an important step that is for you. And we really wish you the best of luck in high school. And we hope that you'll continue to work hard and we know that you will do great things. Call their name. All right, if you are an 8th grade student, could you please make your way up to the middle aisle so we can see you? So the first student we have is Brian Coronel. Brian, your mom wants a picture. Brian, your mom wants a picture. Congratulations, Brian. I don't think this student is here. The next one was Esmeralda Diaz. Are you here? Oh, yes, she is here. Let's give her a minute. Looks like you had some other adventures this summer too, huh? Do you need help? You good? Congratulations. Kevin Inquez Rangel. Madison Matthews. Mom wants a picture. No getting out of that. Thank you. And finally, Leandro Pineda Contreras.
congratulations and thank you all for persevering and completing the summer program. This is your first step in being successful in high school and your future ahead. So congratulations on all of your hard work. And thank you families for encouraging them to continue on and to get that diploma. We do have cupcakes and some treats over here. And then you are not expected to stay at the meeting. We hope that you'll all go celebrate with your families. Thank you.
Yes, and behalf on the, nice job. So we're going to take about a 5-minute break. Please come over and have a snack and take some pictures. And again, families, thank you for coming tonight on behalf of the board and the Fairfax School District. Congratulations. Yeah, I know. I agree, but that is like how it is. I mean, that's you guys have. I think we're gonna have. Yeah, no, I agree, but I just.
So how are we gonna show the? Huh?
Yeah. Device.
You think maybe you could just put a message in the chat, like, didn't break it down, back up a minute? Huh?
Just do it. Yeah.
Okay, we are reconvening the meeting. Public comments?
Yes, I have public comments. Would you like me to read the names? Okay. First public comment is Patsy Rolls.
Good evening, board. How are you all tonight? Well, let me tell you, I'm so appreciative that you have a volunteer interpreter. I know that you wouldn't be spending district funds on paying for an interpreter for yourself, of course. And you, I'm so glad to see you need an attorney to help you through the meeting when you have so many others that could help you, especially at $250 an hour. And never mind, I don't know if the rest of the board approved it or not. I don't know what happened to board approval, but maybe it happened when you were all together somewhere. I don't know. Palmer, I'm not really worried about your residents anymore. Nobody is. We just want you to do your job. And doing your job is this: do the right thing. You did something bad. You need to take care of it. Take that year off. Learn your position, just like I said before, and everything will work out. On your censure, I really feel that your lack of support for the grand jury is something else. You really snubbed them when you took the clerk's position. I don't know how much they're going to like about that when they see it on the tape, and I'm sure they have already. Mr. Tapia, you had 4 years at seminary in Mexico. I thought you studied logic. Maybe it was logistics of trying to tear down a district within itself, because you 3 members have done it. Tonight, it shows it. Last time I was Zooming and I seen the attack on the 3 employees. I was appalled, and that means all of you. Not one of you stepped forward and said, we cannot say names about employees. We can attack you all we want, but we are not allowed to speak about an employee, especially when they do not know that they're being addressed at a board meeting. I don't know how that happened, but that's on all of you. Know your procedures. That's where you're making your mistakes. The board president is in a position to run things, but she doesn't run it all by herself. She needs a team. And if the team doesn't function, this is what happens. We have a whole bunch of resignations in this district. It's a shame. We have a good family here. And when you tonight vote on your new superintendent, I'm asking you to do this. I would love for all of you to accept her, because I know our Fairfax family, all of these guys, will support her. I don't care. We come together as a family in the end. No matter what three of you do, in the end, it's the family and the parents and the staff that comes together and makes a whole. Without that, you're not going to be a whole. And I know that you'll do that. Just to do it for me, just in memory of me, please. And I want to welcome her myself. In fact, I know her from previous workshops that we've had. So I want to thank you for listening to me tonight. I think I have everything on here, what I wanted to say. Just remember, we're a family here, and unless you're a team, give up. And at $250 an hour for her sitting there when Laura could be doing this, that's a shame. That's kids' money. Thank you.
Next, we have Dave Walker.
Darn, Mrs. Rawls, you took all my words.
It's
hard to-
spoken to you. So.
No, I didn't. You know, she said pretty much what I was going to say, but the part that I really wanted to get into is when I saw what was happening to one of our certificated staff last time with the board publicly shaming her and almost harassing her, I went and looked at some of the board policies myself, because I had to say there's got to be something in the board policy that prohibits that, and there is. And I'm sure the people will educate you on that. But while I was cruising around the board policy, I came across board bylaw 9250, which addresses the insurance that the board members receive as serving board members. And it says that board members may participate in the health and welfare benefit programs provided by the district employees. Furthermore, the district shall pay the costs of all premiums required for board members electing to participate in the health and welfare benefits of the district to the same extent that the district pays premiums for district staff in accordance with Government Code 53208.5. And then when you go read that, because that's the law, it says the benefits of members of a legislative body such as yourself shall not be greater than the most generous schedule of benefits being received by any category of non-safety employees. And that would be the cops and the firemen that we don't have. So the most generous benefit plan that is available to anybody in this district is $18,570. That's the cap. That would be the most generous plan. Your plan is not capped and currently runs approximately $25,000 per year. So there turns out to be a shortage of about $6,430 a year that needs to be taken care of. And if you were going to treat yourselves like you would treat the teachers, that would come out of your pocket for a monthly total of $643 per month that needs to be subsidized so that you get the same insurance that you're already getting for basically free. So what is our ask of the board? We ask that you study up on board policy and make sure that you comply with the law. And we ask that as soon as possible, that you begin making your contributions to your insurance packages, just like the rest of the employees are. Thank you very much.
Catherine Pariseau.
Good evening. I'm here to discuss the position of superintendent, for which Laura Brown is more than adequately experienced to be able to handle. At the same time, like the others before me, I would ask that we have a total 100% participation in the vote, and that you vote your conscience, not your agendas. And if we take this wonderful woman here to my left, if we take her on as superintendent, that we play according to the policies of this district from this moment on. Enough of breaking the policies and the rules to fit our own agendas. To the board and the Fairfax community, we are all in an ugly situation right now. We need to focus on unifying rather than dividing. When parents fight, it's always the kids who end up taking the worst part of the split. This is what's happening right now, right here, the current circumstances, and their roots are in the hurts of staff members, and apparently from years ago. Rita Gomez was a revered leader. And when she died, our district, the whole district, suffered. She was a powerhouse who handled essentially 2 full-time and 1 part-time job all at the same time. She was incredible. Not a single day absence until cancer took her down. 2 people are now doing what she did. She was able to do all that work because her and Myra worked hand in hand in glove, that close. It is more than understandable that when a new person came to Migrant, any new person, that there would be some changes. That's the nature of the individuals as independents, different people. Nobody could ever replace Rita, but I want to speak to the efforts of anyone who was fulfilling that migrant director's position. This goes to the community. Over the course of years, the changes at the program level, the county level, I want to speak about the positive changes implemented, not just recently by one person in her extra time, but that the opportunities have been fought for our students, including summer school to help students receive extra services, and seen to it that the migrant students have a Saturday school program for enrichment, and fought to implement a dual summer program ahead of time, not in the last minute. And, you know, a trip, of all expenses paid trip to Washington, D.C. for over 15 of our migrant students when other schools have only sent 2 or 3 or 4 schools our size. All of this, plus purchasing the programs, including the one where students actually get to publish a book of their own, it takes careful planning and rearranging of finances. I had more to say on that, but in her own humility, she chose for me to not say it, but I will say this. She has fought for our students to have opportunities, and for people to, you know, do name calling is really ridiculous. There's no logic in that. If you sit down and figure out the logic, you'll see it's missing. The thing that has gotten lost in the events over the last couple of years is that the district does not serve any one group. We have county special ed, SDC, RSP, Read 180, Avid, Gate, Band, Mariachi, Leaders in Life, girl groups, peer mentors, clubs after school, sports groups, but we are all of those groups. We're not one group. It's like a parent who has 10 kids and favors one. There's something wrong with that. The decisions of the district leadership should be that it serves all groups, not focuses all the time, energy, and efforts on any one group that is biased for or against. Neither of those makes any sense. There's no way that all decisions made can make everyone happy all the time, but don't let hurt go and fester. Go talk to the person who hurt you. Try to reach a center ground where they can see the thought processes and they can see how their decisions affect the end users, us, staff members. Anyone new or veteran in this district who does not strive to serve the total population is self-centered in their thinking, and they need to step aside so that people who do work hard for the goal of all of our students can replace them. This is what the whole recall has been about. We need to put students' needs above our own. The fact that we've hired a law firm after law firm after law firm to get protection for 3 people and find answers favorable only to one group is a blatant self-centered focus. School is about to begin. Please stop voting lockstep. That means 3-2, 3-2, 3-2 on every important vote. It's not about 2 groups opposing each other. It's supposed to be about 5 individual thinking adults thinking about the children. On a last note, unlike my wonderful colleague over here to the right, I am concerned about the residency. Mr. Mullen, I'll start with you. Ms. Lawson, have you given your address? Have you given your address to Laura Brown? Yes, no? Have you complied with the Kern County Grand Jury to give Laura Brown your evidence of your address? No answer. Have you given your address?
Yes.
Have you given your address? Okay, so that's 3, 1 no answer. Mr. Mullen, have you given evidence of your address?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
now, if you are a member of this district, then please act like a member serving the whole, all of you. Yes. Okay, thank you. But not Ms. Brown for the Kern Grand Jury?
And just to remind you and remind everybody, we're not supposed to really answer any questions.
Oh.
We will hear you out.
Okay.
But yes, just a reminder.
I was just kind of concerned about that report for the grand jury. I know there are several things that we haven't been doing on that. And on a side note, I'm going to turn this over for the notes. The minutes have been kind of hinky in the sentence structures. So it's all here already written. Ms. Lawson, I have that piece on Chad for you later. I'm done. Thank you.
Next, we have Mary Luz Nunez. Mary Luz will be
I'm
reading.
sorry, I have a question.
Okay.
Are all the public comments going to be translated in Spanish? Or are we just going to?
There, that's up to the. All right, so Mary Luz Nunez will be reading her statement in Spanish and Charlie Clark will be reading it in English.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Mariluz Núñez, soy presidenta del programa de migrante y tengo 2 hijas que asisten a este distrito. Primeramente quiero aclarar que lo que se dijo en la Junta de julio 20 sobre lo dicho del programa migrante. Número 1, respecto a la señora Davis que no está haciendo bien su trabajo, esto es falso, pues ella está haciendo lo que el condado le dice y las guías del reclutamiento vienen del condado. Número 2, sobre el racismo. La señora Davis en una ocasión me invitó a grabar una llamada para invitar a los padres migrantes a una junta y a asistir a una junta y así motivar a padres migrantes a participar e involucrarse en el programa. Eso no es ser racista, porque la señora Davis quiere que más gente hispana se una al programa. Número 3. ¿Cómo se está distribuyendo y usando el dinero del programa migrante? Yo como madre y ahora como presidenta del Concilio PAC, les puedo decir que en varias ocasiones nos hemos reunido para hablar sobre en qué se ha gastado y en qué se va a gastar el dinero para el beneficio de nuestros hijos del programa migrante, en el cual la señora Alma, el señor Mullen y el condado han asistido. Número 4, sobre el señor José Quintero. Antes que el señor José Quintero se uniera al programa migrante, él ya ayudaba a las familias del programa en general. Hace más de 4 años, el señor Quintero nos representó en la Junta del Estado como miembro de la comunidad. Él dio su tiempo para representarnos sin recibir nada a cambio. Para muchos padres y alumnos, es una excelente persona y líder de la comunidad de Fairfax. Número 5. Sobre la señora Laura Brown. ¿Por qué aún siguen buscando un superintendente? Si ya se hicieron entrevistas y ella quedó como la segunda más calificada para la posición. Y la primera persona que quedó renunció. Por lógica quedaría la señora Brown. En conclusión, para las personas que están preocupadas en qué se gasta el dinero del programa migrante, yo los invito a que asistan a las juntas del PAC y sepan en qué se usa y se distribuye el dinero. Gracias.
I'm going to read in English for Mary Luz. My name is Mary Luz Nunez. I am president of the Migrant Program Parent Advisory Committee, and I also have 2 daughters who attend this district. First of all, I want to clarify what was said at the meeting of July 20th, 2021 in regards to the migrant program. Point one, regarding what was said about Mrs. Davis not doing her job well. This is false, as she is following what the county tells her, and the recruiting guidelines come strictly from the county. Number two, racism. Mrs. Davis once invited me to record a call to invite migrant parents to participate and get involved in the program. That is not racism, because Mrs. Davis wants more of our Hispanic community to join the program. Number three, in regards to how the money from the migrant program is being distributed and used. As a parent and now as president of the Parent Advisory Committee, I can tell you that on several occasions we have met to talk about what the money is being spent on and how the money will be distributed for the benefit of the children in the migrant program. Mrs. Alma and Mr. Mullen and the county have attended such meetings as well. Number four, about Mr. Quintero. Before Mr. Quintero joined the migrant program, he was already helping families in the migrant program in general. A little more than 4 years ago, Mr. Quintero represented us at the state board meetings as a member of the community. He gave his time to represent us without receiving anything in return. For many parents and students, he is an excellent person and a great leader for our Fairfax community. Number five, in regards to Mrs. Brown, why are you still looking to hire a new superintendent? If interviews were already conducted and she was the second most qualified candidate and the person chosen did not accept the position, then logically you would choose Mrs. Brown. Why keep looking? In conclusion, for those people who are concerned about where the money from the migrant program is being spent, I invite you to attend the PAC meetings and know how the money is being used and distributed.
Pam Padilla.
Hello, everyone. Tonight, they will be announcing the new superintendent for our district. The 3 rogue board members have decided on their own what is best for our district. I do not know Mrs. Green, but what I do know is the only reason they have chosen her is because they refused to put Laura Brown as the superintendent because of their hatred for her. The one thing I would like to tell Ms. Green is to not get on the bad side of these board members, or she will be the next one out. Anyone who tries to cross Palmer Mullen or Alma Rios tend to end up on the chopping block or stressed to the point of resignation or early retirement. Ms. Green, be ready to hear about how Palmer Mullen is the victim. You can guarantee most of your time will be spent on special board meetings or on the phone while they complain and cry about how they are being mistreated. Laura Brown, I am kind of glad you are not going to have to experience all the unnecessary crap that you would have to go through if you were chosen for the position. Please count this as a blessing. I will not pass judgment on the new superintendent, but I do feel sorry for her. Thank you.
I'll be translating for Ms. Afora. Pam, hola a todos. Esta noche están anunciando al nuevo superintendente de nuestro distrito escolar. Los 3 miembros de la mesa directiva han decidido por sí mismos la decisión que es mejor para nuestro distrito. Yo no conozco a la señora Green, pero lo que sí sé que la única razón que la eligieron es porque se rehúsan a poner a la señora Laura Brown como superintendente por su coraje, odio hacia ella. La única cosa que le puedo decir a la señora Green es no te pongas en el lado malo de los miembros de la mesa directiva o serás la próxima en salir. Cualquier persona que trata de llevar la contraria de la señora Palmer Mullen o la señora Alma Ríos terminan en el bloque de salir para afuera o estresados o al punto de resignación o retirarse temprano. Señora Green, esté lista para escuchar que el señor Palmer es la víctima. Puedes garantizar la mayoría de tu tiempo será en las mesas especiales de los miembros de la mesa especial de la mesa directiva o en el teléfono cuando están haciendo quejas o estén llorando de cómo es que están siendo mal, están siendo maltratados. Señora Laura Brown. Estoy de una manera contenta que no tendrás que experimentar las cosas innecesarias que tendrías que pasar por siendo la persona elegida para esta posición. Por favor, toma esto como una bendición. No voy a pasar juramento al nuevo superintendente, pero sí me siento mal por ella. Gracias.
Next public comment I have is Palmer Mullins.
Okay, tonight I'm not coming to you as a board
Mr.
member.
Mullins, you have to do public comment from the podium. Here would be as a board member. Thank you.
So as a parent and a community member, like I've stated, I was going to show pictures about 7 or 8, maybe how cars were blown up and how windows were shattered and how traumatized members of my family were, and they decided to leave and I decided to stay. I have never had to make a decision between my family, my child, and how it would affect them in the long run. I never would think that any member of this community would do anything, but after reviewing cameras and after the victims of crime did an investigation and certain people were later identified after we installed cameras, it was appalling. And I hope that this doesn't happen to anyone else. There were people, they asked if there was an MO. I didn't know of an MO initially, but there were people that said they went walking and they went looking for me. So I think that those people should give their name and their phone number and their address so that the DA can follow up with that. But I hope this doesn't happen to anyone else. I hope it doesn't happen to any other parent in this district. I hope no other parent has to have a traumatized kid or a traumatized family member, or our family has to be broken up because of something that people wanted to take upon themselves, actions upon themselves. Thank you.
Maria Hernandez.
Buenas noches. First, I'm going to speak in English and then I'm going to translate it in Spanish. Hopefully, I'll try to do. First of all, Alma Rios, deja de estar riéndote de la gente. Stop laughing about us. You continuing disrespecting us. I wish the lawyer would talk to you about how to conduct yourself. I'm embarrassed of your behavior. Debes de ser un ejemplo para la comunidad. And second of all, Mr. Mullen, if you were so concerned about your family's safety, why didn't you resign? Your family should be first. At least in my case, it is. And yes, I went to walk to your house and look for you. And my name is Maria Hernandez. You know that. And I went last week. But you were not living in there. The house had already been sold. And I don't have nothing to be afraid of. Because I have pictures and I have somebody who came with me. Second of all, I wasn't even prepared to talk today. I wanted other people to talk. Stop looking at my sister. Stop laughing. If you don't want to look at us, look down or look, I don't know, close your eyes, wear some glasses or something. It's just really, really shocking to me to find out how much the insurance gets paid for you guys. And for you guys not to even, no wonder you don't want to resign. No wonder you don't want to live here. Because the insurance is not only paid for yourself, but your whole family. When there's a lot of kids out there who don't even have food to eat on the table. That's really sad to me. Maybe one of these days you need to start walking the neighborhood and find out, especially across the middle school. There's a lot of poverty here. But you guys that have the luxury and spending money and lawyers who are charging a lot of money just to come and sit next to you. If you want a lawyer, get one and pay it from your pocket. When you cannot even conduct yourself in a meeting and you cannot even salute the flag, Ms. Cornell has to step up. That's a shame and embarrassing. You have had so many times to prepare yourself. When you both took this position, you should have gone Google and how to conduct a meeting. I am really sad with all of your behavior. And I feel very sorry for Mrs. Lassam and Miss Victoria Cornell. And I've been walking the streets asking for signatures to hopefully resign you guys. And I'm very, we have really good news. So I have learned so much from our community of all the things you have done, of how Mr. Tapia walked with Mr. Mullen, asking for their votes. So now I know he controls you for sure. For sure. Because he has controlled you since before you were sitting there. ¿Qué es lo que le pasa? And I'm really sad to hear that everybody's ooh, ah, oh la la. When somebody says that it's stress, it's harassed. What about all the people who work in the district without censored? And they continue doing their work, working under all that stress. Trabajando, working every day, doing stress, and having felt like they didn't have nothing to say. And you guys still feel that is the right thing to do? I would like to see that again in the agenda. Maybe now that Mr. Mullen is concerned about the district and running, and he's the victim, and he feels, maybe he can now feels more in line with all the people who works here as a victim. And maybe he'll change his mind. There's a lot of things I want to say, but I just hope that the new superintendent here doesn't let herself be instigated by any of you. That she follows the rules, that she's straight and doesn't bother her to say people no. That's my hope. I cannot judge her because she doesn't know any of her, well, she probably knows her past, but whatever. And I think that's it. should I speak Spanish or I cannot say it in bold, half and half, so I don't know. You understand, Miss Lawson, what I said? So voy a decir un poquito en español. Me da vergüenza que la señora Alma Ríos se siente ahí con la abogada gastando tanto dinero cuando ella podía hacer Google cómo conducir una junta de mesa directiva. Es una vergüenza. Es una vergüenza que no sepa ni guiar el saludo a la bandera. Entonces, ¿de qué te sirve que te estás pagando tanto dinero? Págalo de tu propia bolsa, no de la bolsa de la escuela, de los estudiantes. Y todo el dinero que te están pagando en aseguranza para ti y tu familia. Por eso no quieres dejar el puesto. Es triste saber que hay gente aquí en este distrito. Puedes caminar 2 bloques y bajarte de tu Lexus y mirar cómo vive nuestra comunidad, cómo viven nuestros estudiantes. No todos tienen el privilegio de tener aseguranza ni tener comida sobre la mesa. Y es bien triste saber que ustedes no pasaron la censure y me gustaría mirarla atrás en la agenda. Porque viene una señora a llorar que está estresada y ustedes, le hacen caso. Pero ¿qué tal con todos los trabajadores del distrito que hubo una investigación? ¿Cómo pueden dormir en la noche? Ellos sí vinieron a trabajar todos los días estresados. ¿Cómo es que pueden estar aquí sentados y dar la cara? ¡Qué vergüenza! Ojalá que ahora Mr. Mullen cambie su voto, porque como es la víctima, ya se puede alinear a la línea de las víctimas. Y caminando en las calles me he dado cuenta de muchas cosas, de tantas mentiras, de tanta suciedad, porque a la gente le gusta platicar. Que hasta dicen que hay un video del señor Tapia con el señor Mullen cuando andaba corriendo para el puesto. So ahora ya entiendo por qué a usted lo tiene bien agarrado, yo no sé de qué, o qué le deba. Porque supongamos que lo usó, supongamos que lo manipuló, ya está aquí sentado, no se tiene que dejar manipular por él. Yo sé que usted empezó en diciembre, yo sé eso. Pero todo lo que se ha hablado aquí de él y usted no cambia para nada. Es una tristeza. Ojalá y que las cosas cambien muy pronto. Porque somos Fairfax Strong.
Last public comment will be Maritza Pineda.
Hi, good evening. Hi, good evening. Just gonna keep it really short and simple. Welcome, Ms. Green to our district. I don't know who you are, but I just do hope that you have your priorities straight and you know that you're here and your priority is our students. You owe loyalty to our students, not to the board members that gave you that position. I really hope, you have big shoes to fill. Mr. Coleman was an awesome superintendent. Laura would have been saying, but just always keep in mind that your priority is the students and your loyalty is to them, not to the board members that put you in this position. Also, we're starting a new school year next week. Kids are all excited. I hope we get to see you in the school sites as well, be involved and show support to our principals. There's nothing else to say. This board members, the 3 board members, Mr. Mullen, Ms. Rios, and Mr. Tapia, they just continue to do as they please and play with our kids' money. I know that there's nothing you can do about that, but just also just, I mean, always remember and keep in mind that your priority and your focus is always the students, because that's why we are here, parents and community members, teachers, staff from the district, fighting for our students, for their rights, because they can't. So we're here. And welcome to our Fairfax School District.
Does that end a public comment? Superintendent report?
Yes, good evening. I have a couple things I'd like to share tonight. So last Friday, after a very busy summer, we had our annual MOT barbecue, and I want to thank Mr. Andrews and the district office staff for cooking up some amazing food to celebrate our well-deserved MOT staff. They have the sites ready for students and staff. Staff returned this week on Monday, where they had the opportunity, the certificated staff, to attend an amazing training called led by Dr. Bree Evans. And it was about building relationships, changing behaviors, and talking about universal design for learning. Also, this last Wednesday, we had new teacher orientation. We had 14 teachers join us for new teacher orientation. And I want to give a big thank you to Renee Johnson, who's sitting out here. For about the last 5 years, she has ran our new teacher orientation, and she lines everybody up. And I want to thank all those that came and participated and helped our new teachers learn the Fairfax family way. And so thank you for setting that up, Mrs. Johnson. Today, the teachers returned and worked on their classrooms. Tomorrow, the principals will be hosting site principal meetings, and they'll also be receiving some ELD training led by our very own site TOSAs. The TOSAs have been working very hard to get some professional development ready for our teachers tomorrow, as well as our principals. Tuesday is always an exciting day. It's our annual breakfast. So it's our annual welcome back breakfast. A little change this year, instead of gathering together in one venue for our district breakfast, the breakfast will be at each individual site that all staff members are cited to. And we will share our back to school presentation celebration, and it'll be played at those sites. We'll be celebrating perfect attendance, longevity awards, and just getting the year off on the right foot. We are excited to have a somewhat traditional start to the school year. Looking forward to students to start on August 18th. And I have a little bit more to share later tonight about our reopening plan and what we can expect those first days. So again, it was a great busy summer, and thanks to all those that got everything ready for students and families to come next week. So have a great year, everyone.
Board report? Mullen? Lawson? No. For board report? Board report? No? Okay. Cornell? Tapia?
No.
All right. So for Mr. No. Personnel, approval of employment. Approval of employment contract for superintendent. We will now consider agenda item E1, approval of employment contract for superintendent. Before approval of contract for superintendent, government code section 54953 requires the board to annual the compensation and benefits for superintendent will receive, which are the following: 162 annual salary, 90 per month, cell phones allowance, the same health and welfare benefits as those offered to 12 month confidential management and administration employees of the district. The same retirement benefits offer other certificates administration of the district. So do I have a first motion?
I have something to.
Wait, before we vote, I'm sorry, Mrs. Green, you didn't get to have a second interview. And the board majority voted not to let you have a second interview. And I really am speaking for myself. I wish you would have been afforded that opportunity. I would have felt better about a vote this evening. So I'm just letting you know how I feel. Thank you. Go ahead.
Miss Lawson, that was me that was going to speak, and I was basically on the same page as I was one that asked for similar information and for further information. And being that I don't feel confident in the board and their vote, because we are not doing our jobs diligently and well-informed. So I'm sure, Miss Green, you look like a very nice lady. I have nothing, negative to say, because, I don't, but there were things brought up. Obviously, I cannot speak of them, that a second interview would have hopefully answered questions that in a way to me seem as they're possible red flags, but here we are.
Do I have a first motion?
First motion.
Do I have a second? I second it. Roll call. Mullen,
Yes.
Lawson,
No.
Cornell,
That's a no for me.
Tapia,
Yes.
and for me, so yes. Congratulations, Ms. Green. And now, do you want to say some words?
Well, first of all, I'd like to convey that I am here to serve the students and the community. I have devoted most of my adult life and my entire career to being an educator, ensuring to provide educational environment that provides the tools that students need to be successful in the competitive global market. Nothing breaks my heart more than to see students not have the opportunities that will give them success in life. As I'm sitting here diligently taking in all of the comments, one theme is common among everybody. What I'm hearing tonight is the passion that each and every person has in the room for the community and the students that we serve. I'm looking forward to earning your trust, as I want to listen and to work with all stakeholders in the community to look for themes and patterns that people agree upon so that we can begin to craft a plan together on how to best provide the best possible education for our students. While there may be times where I make decisions that we do not agree upon, please know that my primary focus will always be on doing what's best for students. Even in moments of disagreement, when brought together with a common goal of serving students, we can learn, we can grow. Again, I look forward to earning your trust. As I spend time meeting with and working with the Board of Trustees, staff, students, and the community to provide an environment focused on education and student achievement, the primary goal must always be to provide an environment that will allow our students to have their dreams come true. Thank you.
E2, variable terms waiver. We will now consider E2 approval for variable terms waiver. Do I have a first motion? Oh, do we have any questions or? Do I have a first motion?
I shall move.
Do we have
I
a second?
second that.
Roll call, Mullen,
No.
Lawson,
Aye.
Cornell,
Aye.
Tapia.
No.
Okay, and for me, it's a no. Okay. So,
I have no questions regarding this agenda item. This is a current employee that has applied for a counseling position, interviewed against a pool of candidates, did a fabulous job, was recommended by our administrative team. Again, I had no questions regarding the staffing assignment posed to me prior to the meeting.
Can I ask the board or the three that voted no, do you even understand what this is about? Or are you just voting no because, I mean, what?
We
is
were
the-
voting for a
what-
Fairfax Junior High counselor from a
Miss-
previous teacher.
Ms. Brown, I'm sorry. Can we know why your vote is a no? Can you give us an explanation of why you voted no, Mr. Tapia? Alma Rios, Palmer Mullen, why did you vote no?
This pertains to a personnel matter that cannot be discussed in public, so,
It appears that
so-
nothing can be
so-
discussed to the community. We owe the community answers. We know our employee answers. So I'm sorry, but this is ridiculous.
This is related to
Mrs.
a
Clanahan,
personnel-
I apologize to you. Had I known this was going to be an issue tonight, I would have not have had you come. I'm sorry.
oh, he's here.
Would anybody like to change their vote? This is ridiculous.
Members
like
to make a motion to reconsider the item?
I would like. for-
Seems that
I would
other
like-
board members are not even aware of what's going on or why they voted the way they voted. Mrs. Rios, Mr. Tapia?
I would like for our students to have a full-time counselor, as that is a position that we recently just reconsidered. We considered that our students at each site would have a full-time counselor with the PPE credential. We just reclassified this position. So I'm sorry that, we don't agree on this, but my decision is my decision.
Okay, so I would like to hear why it's your decision, Mrs. Rios, and I would like to hear why it's your decision, Mr. Tapia.
Oh
Okay,
my
I would like
God.
to make a motion to reconsider the item.
Cornell, only those in the women's center motion. Mr. Tapia, Mr. Mullen, and Ms. Rios. would you like to
Shame on
make-
Shame on you. This is an employee that has been here for 17 years. Shame on you.
And this is for a full-time counseling position at the junior high.
Shame on you. Shameful.
Mrs. Rios, you look extremely lost.
I'm not lost. Thank you.
Shameful.
Nobody wanted to reconsider?
Seventeen-year employee. Dedicated to this school.
No, I don't believe Ms. Rios said you had permission and.
I didn't said yes. I'm asking her a question. I'm asking her questions.
"17 years, a teacher in this district. She had your voice. Oh my. Shame on you. Shame on you. This is someone's life. If you would allow me to address the board, I would like
Yes.
to explain the process.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So unfortunately, Fairfax Junior High has had 3 counselors.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the junior high has had 3 counselors in the past 4 years. We have really tried to roll out social emotional learning, multi-tiered systems of support, and all of the things that our students need. Mrs. Clanahan is currently intern status. She is currently doing her thesis on social emotional learning and has done her training in multi-tiered systems of support. She's been with our school for 17 years. And I know that we would have longevity with her at our school versus having 3 different counselors in 4 years and not being able to really sustain any kind of program or security for our kids. And so the reason that we wanted to hire Ms. Clanahan for this position is we knew that she would have that longevity. We knew that she already has the relationships with our kids. We knew she was already committed to Fairfax and that she would also have rapport with the teachers as we rolled out these many programs that our students need in social emotional learning and responding to intervention for their academic needs, their attendance needs, their behavior needs, their social emotional needs. She just really felt like the best choice. And it would really be nice to have a counselor that would stick around and be there for our kids. And we know she will because she's been here for 17 years. That's all I'd like to say.
Do somebody wants to reconsider?
Do it, Anna. Do the right thing. She's been here for 17 years. She got your boys. Extra hours.
What?
You don't have to ask the lawyer every time. You can make that decision. You can say yes or no. Don't ask her.
No. I would like to, I'm not. I said no because I'm reconsidering. So, yes.
Shame on you.
From you, say yes. No, yes, that I voted, yes.
Okay, she put the motion. She put the motion. Yeah.
I'm gonna make a motion to reconsider.
Thank you.
Do I have a second?
It's well deserved. You don't need to think that.
Do I have a second?
On the motion to reconsider.
Do I have a?
Yes, I have a-
She's looking for a
first.
second to reconsider.
I'll second.
Roll call, Mullen,
Reconsider. Yes.
no? Lawson,
Aye.
Cornell,
Aye.
Tapia,
Aye.
Permis and I. Permis and I.
Wow, first lockstep.
Congratulations, Mrs. Clanahan.
Professional internship permit. It is. Is there any questions or comment?
I'd like to comment.
No.
Tammy? It's okay. I would like to say I respect you for that.
Okay.
Thank you, Mama. Questions or comments about that item?
No questions or comments, and I'll make the first motion if there aren't any questions.
Do I have a second motion for 3? Roll call, Mullen,
Yes.
Lawson,
This is for the provisional internship, correct?
yes,
Aye.
Cornell,
Aye.
Tapia,
Aye.
Permis and I. That motion passed. Certified staff,
If there are no
Yeah, if
questions,
there's
I will
any
make
que-
the first motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call. Mullen,
No.
Lawson,
Aye.
Cornell,
Aye.
Tapia.
Aye.
Okay. Permis and I.
So then.
Classified staff. Do I have a first motion?
If there are no questions, I will make the first.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call. Mullen,
Aye.
Lawson,
Aye.
Cornell,
Aye.
Tapia,
Aye.
Permis and I. Classified confidential district of network operation, director of network operation. If there's no comments, do I have a first motion?
Make the first motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call. Mullen,
Aye.
Lawson,
Aye.
Cornell,
Aye.
Tapia,
Aye.
Permis and I. Business and financial. Yeah, budget update, revision, okay.
Are we all good, Mrs. Brown?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Good afternoon, board, members of the public. I'm just going to be going over the 45-day revision. And really all that is, and I'll keep it very short and sweet, but every year, Education Code states that if there are significant changes between when the governor actually signs the budget compared to the budget that you approved for back in June, that we're required to notify you of the updates to the budget. And so that's what this is for. The board will be required to, they don't need to certify, but they will vote on the budget changes, but this will not be going to the county office for review. I'm not sure if they're in your
We're
packet.
having a lot of technical difficulties tonight.
Okay,
Turned off.
okay. I'll try and be as
So they have,
descriptive as I
have
can.
the presentations. Okay.
Okay.
And then they're also in the binders if you need. If you'd like
It's
to
very
review.
short too, so I'll be as descriptive as I can. So what's changed since the governor signed the budget in July is that revenue increased by $968,000, and I found this to be material. That's why we're here tonight. And the reason for that change is there's a concentration grant formula within the LCFF calculation, and that was adjusted, increased slightly, and so that's the resulting impact. So for revenues, changes to the budget, just an increase of $968,000. For expenditures, we've seen an overall increase of about $569,000. Now that's related to the additional teachers, additional services, and additional facilities and things that have been added to the budget since it was brought to the board back in June. So overall, the net impact to the unrestricted side of the budget is an increase of approximately 398, so about $400,000. When I brought this budget to the board in June, we essentially were balanced. We had an increase of about $20,000. Now with these changes, we're now showing a slight increase to about $400,000. Again, there are no cash flow issues to report at this time, and the restricted side of the budget remained unchanged. So there were only changes to the unrestricted side because of that small change in the LCFF concentration grant formula. So looking ahead, again, this was just meant to be very short and sweet, but we'll continue to monitor the national and state economies. We'll continue to monitor the Cal OSHA CDPH school guidelines. As their guidance gets adjusted, school operations are going to be adjusted, and subsequently the budget. Again, I'll be bringing the unaudited actuals for the 2021 school year to the board in September for approval. And the first interim for this current school year will be brought to the board in December. So that's just looking ahead. So very short and sweet, just some nominal changes to revenues and expenditures. So for here, I recommend the approval of the budgetary changes, but I'm here for any questions that the board may have.
Is there any comment or questions?
Good work.
I have no questions. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, do I have a first motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second motion?
Second.
Roll call, Mullen,
Aye.
Lawson,
Aye.
Cornell,
Aye.
Tapia,
Aye.
Fermis and I. For education service,
Para los servicios de educación.
we will now consider agenda item G1, Williams section 2021 fourth quarter report.
Yes, this is just our fourth quarter report that's provided to us by the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, just a review of our Williams report. And we have 3 school sites that are part of our Williams report, and that's Fairfax Junior High, Shirley Lane Elementary, and Virginia Avenue Elementary. And on these fourth quarter reports, all sites were considered to have sufficient materials last year. All sites had 100% overall rating, and all sites had a school rating of exemplary with no facility deficiencies. And also on this report reflected that all school sites had their school accountability report cards posted in a timely manner. So that is all I have for our Williams report.
Summer school presentation.
Yes, we have we had a comprehensive summer school program. There were a lot of students involved, and we had some great things to share. So I'm going to invite up our summer school principals. We had 2 summer school principals. First was our June principal, and he got our technology fixed just in time for himself to present. That's Mr. Beckman.
Thanks to Dave Mack helping me out. So anyway, good evening. Let me get myself together. I was kind of worried about that. Anyway, first, I'm here to start the presentation off, but my colleagues will be up shortly, Jennifer Davis and Eddie Vela. So as Laura said, I was the principal for the June session here at Zephyr Lane. And before I continue, I just want to say a huge thank you to Laura Brown and Charlie Clark, who really gave a tremendous amount of support and assistance. And I'm proud to be a part of the summer program. I have for the last several years. I really feel that we boast one of the best summer programs in the county, very robust, very ambitious. While other schools and districts really kind of roll back their summer programs, we're more ambitious and very wholesome with ours year in and year out. And so you can take a look at that by looking at the session 1 enrollment, over 700 kids in our summer program. Over 100 employees, classified, certificated. We had grades kindergarten through 7th, including preschool, TK, traditional kindergarten, special education, and migrant. And then our summer program also boasted a reading lab, STEM, math intervention, migrant, wellness Wednesday, our seamless summer food program, and our ACES program. You can go to the next one, Laura. So we also had our reading lab. In session 1, we housed 2 reading labs, where students were pulled into small groups throughout the day. Students worked on building specific literacy skills and reading. And then the reading lab consisted of 1 reading teacher and then 5 reading lab aides. Students first through third grades were tested on specific literacy skills at the end of summer session 1. And that data was compared to those same literacy skills from the end of the regular school year to see if any growth was made during that instruction. As you can see here, we had several students that were tested in those grades, and 46 maintained their skill level. 38 went up 1 skill, and then up 2 skills. We had just about 8% in 2 skills, and then 3 and 4 skills respectively, about 3%. Now, this is important because we all know this last academic year, there was a tremendous amount of learning loss. So that's not, hidden on anybody, but this shows that we do have the programs in place. We have the personnel in place to get back some of that instruction and build our scores back up. So this was only in a few short weeks. So very positive momentum going forward into the next academic school year. Every Friday, teachers recognize super summer students, as we call them, for their efforts and good behavior over the summer. And students were announced by myself every Friday on the school intercom, and those prizes were delivered to the classrooms. And now I'll give it to Mr. Vela for summer school session 2.
All right, thank you, Mr. Beckman. Mr. Vela was our session 2 summer school principal. Thank you, Mr. Vela.
You're welcome, Ms. Brown. Is it okay if I take my mask off?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening, board. Just to introduce myself real quickly, I'm Mr. Eddie Vela. I'm assistant principal at Fairfax Junior High School. Well, first, I'd like to thank the district office, Mr. Brown and Mr. Clark, for providing their full support, so we can provide the best learning environment for our kids. Publicly thank Mr. Beckman as well, too. He and I worked together to provide the best education as well, too, during the summer with Mrs. Davis as well. We all 3 worked extremely well together to provide the best environment that we could. So it was an outstanding summer, to be very honest, and it was actually my second time being summer school principal. I was a summer school principal about 10 or 12 years ago. And I have to add too, the first time that I've ever been principal of grades lower than 7th grade. So I have to mention, it's absolutely amazing to see the little ones come to school every single day. Okay, just so eager to be taught. It was a joy to go to summer school every day and see them, in their little clothes, and we're just waiting to participate in class and really counting on us to provide them the best education that we could. So it was a great experience. We had 343 kids, student enrollment, kindergarten through 7th grade. Summer programs, of course, general education. You got to forgive me for my squinting. I don't have my glasses on. Reading lab, STEM program, math intervention, seamless summer food program, and of course ACEs. And we had a reading lab session. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I will.
Or I can go like this. I can also like that. There you go.
Thank you, Ms. Cornell. I must have been squinting really bad. You noticed. Thank you very much. Okay, so we had a reading lab, like I was saying. I'll try to get closer to the microphone here. Maintain 3 small group reading learning stations and 1 reading teacher, 2 reading instructional aides. There were 2 separate classrooms. The reading lab teacher staff pulled out students from the regular program and then placed them into small group learning settings, which worked extremely well. When I visited, the kids were in a circle type of a setting, and with the teacher right in front of them, learning, as I have on the slide there, phonemic awareness, short vowel sounds, and long vowel patterns. Go ahead. There we go. So this is not going to work. Oh, scroll up. Here we go. All right. Thank you. Super summer students. As with the first program, session 1, we had to promote positive behavior. This worked extremely well. Trust me, the kids wanted to be chosen as a super summer student of the week. They would come up to me, honestly, every single day. I'm going to try to get it this week, Mr. Vela. You can just imagine a 6-year-old telling me that as I'm walking down the hallway, and that was awesome. So they really wanted to get that. We provided prizes for them. I let them know if they participated in class, reward them for academic learning. And the teachers would send me the names. As with first session, I announced their names, and trust me, they love that. To be recognized over the entire school, over the intercom, have their name called. And so I proudly did that every Friday. And like I said, we delivered prizes personally, myself and our counselor, Mrs. Moratoya, we both went out to each classroom, provided prizes for the kids. And when we walked through that door, they knew why we were there, you know? And so that was really fun. And then we provided, provided certificates for kids that had perfect attendance. We had 63 students out of the 343 enrolled that came every single day. I have the pictures up there, and there were a lot of pictures to choose from. I took a lot of pictures. Okay, I really did, because it was just awesome to see them, you know, with their little certificates like you see up there in the picture. And I could have put more up there, but of course, with the space, I had the 3 up there with the different grade levels. It was all grade levels, kindergarten to 7th grade. So that was awesome. I have to add, but we on my staff put a little touch to it. We had a little candy to the certificate, taped it on there, and I think they eyed the candy more than the certificate, you know, and that's okay. The last week of summer school, you know, as we know, Spirit Week, when we have it at the school sites, it provides, you know, unity among the staff and students, and gives them that school spirit, which adds a lot to the culture of the school. This was worked extremely well. The staff dressed up, the kids absolutely dressed up. Again, I could have a lot of pictures to choose from. The first picture up there is from a teacher that had them lined up in a circle, and that was Crazy Sock Day, Camouflage Day. The teacher had them salute as well with Camouflage Day, and of course, Sports Jersey Day. And then the wonderful staff there, they also dressed up. So that was a huge success all as well. For staff appreciation, this is all staff. I mean, I worked with MOT and fixing the air conditioning, the instructional aides, custodians, of course, the teachers throughout the whole summer. If something came up that was not working properly, we fixed it. Because as we all know, it's all in the interest of our kids and provided them the best learning environment that we can. And so to show appreciation, we had a barbecue potluck at the last day of summer school. Mr. Paramo, the chef of the day, and the pictures in there of the staff as well too. And then I decided to have a staff picture, and that's our beautiful staff there for session 2 summer school. And that concludes the program.
All right, thank you, Mr. Vela. Next, we have expanded learning and migrant with Mrs. Davis.
Good evening. My name is Mrs. Davis. I'm the coordinator of intervention and supplemental programs. I'm going to speak tonight about some of the special programs that we offer during summer. So I don't know if everyone is aware of this, but pre-COVID, our program ran 8 to 6. We received 21st Century, and we ran June and July. And so as far as I know, we are the only district that did that pre-COVID. Once COVID hit, summer came back, other districts had to step it up, and their step up was our default setting. So we had to decide, sorry, that sounds pretty bad, but it's true. So I'm so proud of our classified and certificated staff because they showed up. Our classes, every kid that was interested was able to come, and we staffed with our own people. And that is a big deal. And that was a question that was asked. How did you guys do that? I believe it was because we were prepared before COVID. We were thinking ahead of time as far as having a big program for our kids. So our teachers, and we were already ready to get rolling. So the next step was, how do we up our game coming out of COVID? And because we have such a great district and community knows that, we were given some really great opportunities. So with that, we had our after school program. We did mobile ed, which are some field trips, or not field trips, assemblies where people would come on campus and do, the kids had 2 different assemblies every week. They would either be virtual or in person. And then county office came and did some nutrition cooking classes for our after school program. So this is after instructional hours from 2 to 6 p.m. This is what was taking place. Go ahead and go next. And this is first session. So for our migrant program, we did REACH, which is our summer reading program. And we set up what is a free book fair. And the perk was decorated like a carnival, and kids were able to come in with their families and pick out a free book. And we had prizes for them. We also did support services. We did call outs to every one of our families during their doing annual contacts. So every family that was coming up on a 30-day expiration, we called them, checked in. Do you need food? Do you need clothing? What can we do to support you? We had a lot of families that were thankful for the call. We did deliver a lot of food this summer to our families that were in need, and they were happy and thankful for the support with that. So we're very, very proud of doing that. That took place during June and July. So this is really cool. This is something that we did first session. This is KCSOS GEMS, and we got a phone call and said, hey, we want some girls to come out and participate in some STEM at CALM. And it was right before summer started. And of course we said yes. So this was a grant given by the Women and Girls Fund locally. And this was for our 4th and 5th grade girls that were attending summer school. We took 16 girls. They did a week-long course at CALM. This is the really cool thing about it, is that it was all taught by women who are in the STEM industry, and either women or students that are planning on going into that industry. And so one of the things that I didn't know, and I don't know if anybody here knows, but there's a gal that's a young lady that's presenting on the very bottom. She is an architect, and she owns the largest architectural firm locally for industrial buildings. And she's a Latina. And so that's who our girls were getting classes from. And that was exciting. And so Mrs. Brown, if you can click on the link, there was a news story that was run on this that I'd like to share.
This is the PDF files.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we'll post it on the website. So, but there was a really cool story that was run. And at the end of it, all of our girls got up and they did oral presentations, and the families were invited to watch. And they got to spend a great day at CALM. And so we are going to follow up. We already have days set. So these women will serve as mentors to our girls. They will be checking in quarterly with our students and coming on campus and checking in with them and doing some more fun STEM activities, and really kind of make sure that that learning isn't just a one and done, that it's progressing throughout the year. Thank you. Oh, there's more. So not too long before summer, we got a call from CSUB. Hey, we want to do a camp. We're like, let's do it. So this summer camp was offered during session 2. The CSUB math department came out. These are all teachers in training. They did a coding and rocketry camp. This was offered to all of our students who were on campus, our 5th grade students at Virginia Avenue. And so they did a week-long coding and rocketry camp. Their classes ran from 8 to 12. And then after that, the teachers from CSUB held a class on campus where they would kind of reevaluate what was happening for the day and plan for the next. That was a wonderful opportunity. And after talking about what was happening at our GEMS camp, we decided that this was something that needed to come back during the year as well. So we're looking forward to continuing that partnership with CSUB Math Department. We also upped our CTE game. So previously we offered CTE to our students for session 1 and 2 from 8 to 12. Miramonte was very excited to partner with us again. So during the morning sessions, our students were offered engineering, video production, and web design. That last week, those students then had the opportunity to attend coding and rocketry. Miramonte also did a great thing for us. They gave us a second session in the PM. So our ACES students were able to go back to Miramonte and do ag science, ag mechanics, and ag business in the afternoon. This is a great way to get our teachers involved, because most of the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students that were in the general classes were attending. Their teachers went along with them, and it was a great training opportunity for our teachers to go in and use some of that CTE, those CTE resources at the high school. So we have some fun following up with our teachers that experienced that are now excited to bring that to clubs. One more thing we added, and this will kind of segue into next month's presentation. We worked with some of our partnering districts, after-school programs, and came up with esports. And Mr. Martinez, our ed tech director, has done a fabulous job. We talked about getting it going, and I don't know anything about this. This is all him. And he pulled the trigger, and our kids were doing esports. It is the funnest thing. I do not know how to play Rocket League, but I got in there and it was some stiff competition. I did not let up on the kids. I got beat. And then, so I had a pretty tough competition with the third grader. She beat me, I beat her, and we're gonna go toe to toe when school starts to do a tiebreaker. So gonna spend some time in the next couple of weeks practicing. So we will be rolling out esports as part of our sports program. And again, thank you to all of our staff for stepping up. We could not have done this without you, and to our district administration, Mrs. Brown and Mr. Clark, for all of your support. Thank you so much. And this was by far the best summer. I don't know how we did it. I do, because we have incredible staff, but coming out of COVID, we knocked it out of the park. So thank you so much to everyone that helped with summer.
And I want to follow up with Mrs. Davis. You know, we had our teachers work summer from 8 to 2 o'clock. It's a very long day, and we appreciate that. Was until 3 o'clock if you're a migrant teacher. Classified staff was also full day. It truly does take a village, and everyone came out of the woodworks and was willing to work all summer, June and July. When you have almost 1,000 students that got to continue their education in the summer, we're starting to make a dent. So congratulations, everybody. Nice job.
Do you mind if I say something? I'm just want to say this. I'm amazed that every year that, you know, since I've been on the board and I've been here and I've seen it, it just amazes me that every summer you guys just keep raising that bar higher and higher. And honestly, I don't know how you guys do it. It's like more. That's just awesome. Thank you. You guys are awesome.
This district reopening plan, Laura?
Yes, thank you. Let me get rid of this. All right, thank you. So we are so excited to be back to school coming up very shortly. And so next week we'll be reopening. And so we're going to kind of go over a little bit some of our goals and what our expectations and what we can expect to see as we open up our gates. And so of course we have our goals, and the Fairfax School District goals are we want to prioritize the health and safety of students, staff, and campus visitors. We are committed to 5 days a week in-person instruction. There's a little asterisk on this one, long-term independent study. I'm going to go over our long-term independent study program after we talk about our reopening plan. We are going to remediate and accelerate teaching and learning. We're going to provide for the social and emotional needs of students, staff, and families. We are excited to bring back our after-school programs, ACES, FAST, and Migrant, and also extracurricular activities in youth sports. There are measures in place for health and safety. Masks are required for everyone while indoors and on school buses. There will be universal masking at the school site. So all visitors, staff, and students are expected to wear masks while they are indoors or on the school bus. This presentation was added to the agenda prior to our mandate that came out late on Wednesday. So this does say voluntary COVID-19 testing for staff on site. We know there are changes to that. There will be mandatory COVID-19 testing or vaccinations coming up shortly. We are going to offer testing at three days a week at 3 school sites to help ease that new mandate. We also masks are optional while outdoors. What is different this year is when we're back on campus in fall, social distancing requirements are not required on campus. So in our classrooms, you will see our classrooms no longer social distance. The kids can be on the rug and back in groups, but masks will absolutely be required while students are in the classroom. We will still utilize and have sanitizing and hand washing stations to be utilized all across the campus. There's also going to be requiring self-screening of students. We're really getting out that information to remind parents to self-screen their students every day. And staff will still be required to self-screen. And yes, we still have to use our Stop It apps every day. And we are going to have our back to school nights be virtual as we ease back into the school year. So it looks much more like a traditional school year, but still keeping in mind that we need to try to keep all of our students and staff safe. But there is good news. We are back to full day and week instruction. That means we're no more AM, PM. We are here from when the bell rings in the AM till the PM. I'm excited that our students will be back having lunch on campus with their peers. We have recess, opportunities to play outside and interact with their peers. Masks will be optional while outside. There are modified quarantine requirements. CDPH and the CDC is really committed to having students in school as much as possible. So there are some modifying quarantines, and our nursing staff, as well as myself, are working very closely to make sure that we adhere to those. Buses can run at full capacity. Like I said before, masks must be required, and we will also keep windows open on the bus to allow for proper ventilation. Last year we ran an AM PM schedule, and I couldn't be more proud. We had most of our students here every single day, and it was a labor of love. But we will have a much quicker arrival and dismissal without temperature checks this year. Plexiglass barriers have been removed from student desks. We have left teacher barriers in the classrooms, the large teacher barriers, to allow for that social distancing if needed, but the plexiglass from student desks has been removed. And like I said, it's also great news to really bring back those extracurricular activities and youth sports. So looking forward to inviting our students back to campus. So those are some of our things coming up for the school year.
Consent section, warrants and payroll.
I have a little bit, just a little bit more. That's okay. So AB 130 came out, and that is the requirement for districts to offer a long-term independent study program. Last year we had distance learning, and it was called distance learning. And we had some students that were on distance learning all year, and we had some students that came back on campus. So there is still going to be an option for those families that choose that coming back to school is not right for them. And that is called long-term independent study. Let's see here. Long-term independent study does look different than distance learning. In grades TK through 3rd, there's daily synchronous instruction is required. And in grades 4 through 8, there is daily live interaction and weekly synchronous instruction. Live interaction is not the same as instruction. Live interaction means that we are checking in on the student, making sure that they have what they need, and having that live interaction. Synchronous instruction is synchronous instruction like we are used to in distance learning. The parameters have just changed, those requirements have changed. And so I'm going to kind of revisit that. Grades 4 through 8, every day they'll receive some live interaction, but they are only required to receive weekly synchronous instruction. Our plan that we have developed will go a little bit above that because we know our students need more than once a week of instruction. But again, this is still an independent study program. As we are meeting with parents, we are reminding them this truly is an independent study program. It is not distance learning like it was last year where you had a teacher with you, several 6 to 7 hours a day. This will be a program which you're working on your own. So in order to remain an independent study, you have to really be making progress. The district, as a school, as a district, we are obligated to ensure students are progressing. That means they're turning in their assignments, they're not struggling, they are engaging every day. And if they are not progressing and making progress, we would have to determine that they'd have to come back to school for on-site instruction. To enroll for long-term independent study, you would contact your school office and you would meet with the principal. The principal goes over those requirements and expectations of long-term independent study, and you sign the contract. This was when I created this presentation, we had about 36 students across the district signed up for long-term independent study. We're right about 45 right now. We have about 45 students, TK through 8, that have chosen long-term independent study as their program of choice. So that is about reopening. Is there any questions in regards to what long-term independent study looks like, or about our reopening for the 21-22 school year?
I had a question, but you answered it. Thank you. I was wondering how many students were enrolled.
Yeah,
throughout
we're
the
right
district.
about 45. We've had a few more this week. We had a parent meeting about 2 weeks ago where we answered a lot of questions, and we are addressing those as they come up. We have about 45 right now.
One more question.
Yes.
So if the students are struggling, can you tell me?
Yeah, so we've worked really closely with our administrative team and our long-term independent study teachers. And so if, every Friday, the teachers will send home a progress report. Every single Friday, every single student in long-term independent study will get a progress report. If that progress report is not a successful progress report, that would trigger our steps for re-engagement, our re-engagement strategies. So they would meet with the teacher would talk about, here's where my concerns are, here's how many days they've missed, here's how many assignments they missed. That if there is no progress or improvement that second week, they would meet with the site administrator or a school counselor on the campus, and then the same conversations would happen. If they go into a third week and we're still not seeing that progress, the district would work with the parent to have the child come back to school if that's where they're going to be more successful. Really, the ultimate part of that AB 130 is, most importantly, is that child's making progress. And if the environment of learning is not working for them to be on an independent study, we need to get them back in school so that we don't allow them to get further behind.
Do you have a question?
No.
Good job. So consent section, business, warrants and payroll. Do I have a first motion?
First motion.
For the consent agenda, Ms. Rios, you can ask if anybody would like to pull anything, and then you can ask for a motion to approve
Do you guys
all of
want-
the consent agenda at once.
Any question? Comment?
Madam President, I would ask that I make the motion to approve the consent section as a whole as presented if there are no objections.
Thank you, Mr. Mullen. There is one item that Ms. Brown has brought to my attention that does need to be pulled. That's item 4, the change of the regular November 2021 board meeting, as that meeting falls on a holiday, so the board does need to make an alternative decision as to date. So each board member in front of them, there is a calendar that it's the November calendar. And on there we have where it shows the holiday is, and as well as the Thanksgiving holiday. And there are some school presentations also that are indicated on that calendar. So using that calendar, if you can find a date somewhere in there.
So-
Members' opportunity to say, find a collective date that will work for all of you.
Palmer? Can you hear?
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have a date? Molly?
I don't have a particular date in mind at this time.
Lawson?
I don't have a life. Any time is fine.
Cornell? And Tapia?
I mean, if everybody's okay with doing it the Thursday before, if there aren't any other, which would be November 4th. Do you guys really want to keep it on a Thursday?
I think that's gonna push for the reports to be done at a quicker pace. So I think that may
Okay.
be a little too soon.
Okay, how about a Tuesday, not exactly a day before the holiday, or, we have Tuesday, November 9th.
Tuesday, November 9th will work for me.
Mr. Medina, do we have to have any kind of deadlines that we have to meet in November?
In November, no, as long as I put all of the regular items on the agenda, I can add the attachments.
So.
I prefer in November 10.
November 10. The 8th, the 9th, or the 10th.
Would one of the board members like to make a motion for either to move the regular meeting?
Tapia,
scheduled for the
so you want the
11th or
10th?
9th or the-
Okay, At 6, right? And Cornell, you wanted it at the 9th?
The 10th is fine with
The
me.
10th? All right, so do we have the vote? Do we have the vote?
What's the date?
The 10th?
November 10th at 6.
The 10th.
6
The
p.m.
10th, day before Wednesday.
Maybe we should check with Mrs. Green and see if that's good with her.
Ms. Green? Yes. So do I have a first motion to change it to November 10 at 6 o'clock? So I have a first motion?
Tienen en primera moción para cambiarlo para.
First motion.
Do I have a second?
Second,
Roll call, Mullen,
aye.
Lawson,
Aye.
Cornell, aye. Tapia,
Aye.
and for me, it's an aye. So, okay.
You can ask for a motion for the balance of the consent agenda.
So
in
do
its
I,
entirety.
so do I have a motion for the agenda?
I would like to make a motion for the balance of the entirety of the consent section to be approved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Mullen,
Yes, aye.
Lawson,
Aye.
Cornell, aye. Tapia,
Aye.
for me, it's an aye. So we're going to close session at.
Entonces vamos a hacer la sesión.
We're actually on item 2, personnel.
Two personnel, oh, yeah.
El personal, ¿no?
All part of the consent agenda? No. That would be item H1.
No, that would be, it would not be, it would be a separate one.
Do I have a first motion?
Vamos a primera moción.
Do I have a first motion? First motion, is there a second? Is there a second
I really wish it's.
for personnel?
Virginia, we're voting on item 2,
Two for
personnel.
The resignations.
Yes,
I'm sorry to see Mary Reese leave.
yes.
All of them horrible,
Oh.
horrible. I'll second.
Mullen,
No,
No.
Lawson,
Aye.
Cornell,
Aye.
Tapia,
Aye.
for me, it's an aye. Job description, do we have a first motion?
I shall move.
Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Mullen,
aye.
Lawson, Cornell,
Aye.
Tapia,
Aye.
for me, it's an aye. Job description, speech, Do I have a first motion? First motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mullen,
Aye.
Lawson,
I'm sorry, what are we voting?
We're on,
We just
the last
voted
one.
on all the personnel, did we not?
no.
Virginia, it's
We're over
item
here.
2,
In job description.
3.
Is the
Okay,
last one.
aye.
those each separately.
I'm with you.
Okay, Cornell,
Aye.
Tapia,
Aye.
Hermes and I. We're going to close session at 8 o'clock. Do I have a first motion to recess? To go to closed session. First
Aye.
motion, okay. I have a second, it's me. Mullen,
Aye.
Lawson. Aye. Cornell. Aye. Tapia,
Aye.
Bermudez and I. 8 o'clock.
Yes, the report out from closed. In closed session, there were 2 items under anticipated litigation with regard to the first matter. No final action was taken with regard to the second matter. The majority of the board gave direction to submit the response to the grand jury. Thank you.
And that was a 3-2 vote on the response to the grand jury.
Do I have a vote to adjourn the meeting? Do I have a first motion?
First motion.
Do I have a second? Second for me. Roll call, Mullen,
Aye.
Lawson. Cornell,
Aye.
Tapia,
Aye.
Bermudez and I. The meeting is adjourned. 9:19.